What's up, YouTube? It's Heretic here. Welcome back as we do another impossible deck challenge in a new manner. This time we are going to play through a PTCGO online tournament, and we are going to do an impossible tournament challenge. Now, I'm going to upload this whether I lose in the first round or I go all the way, which is probably not going to happen with this deck, but who knows. So we are looking at a card that I think is really, really bad, but has been around in Japan for a while that I thought would be fun to play, and that is the new Mega Gengar-EX promo. A shiny Mega Gengar, which for 4 energy, 3 psychic, and a colorless does Hollow Geist, 120 damage, confusion, and poison. Now Mega Venusaur does this better. Same damage output, same cost, only using grass energy, and it does paralysis instead of confusion. I guess the silver lining here is this guy can use Dimension Valley to only need 3 energy to attack. I still think this attack is terrible, but it's a shiny Mega Gengar, so we're going to make it work if we can. So, since Gengar-EX is only legal and expanded, that's the format we have to build this in. So that does give us access to the aforementioned Dimension Valley. Gengar is also, you know, kind of nifty on his own. Night attack for 1 energy, 3 damage counter drop on one of your opponent's Pokemon. Dark Corridor for a Psychic and 2 colorless. 60 inflicts poison, and then Gengar jumps back to the bench in favor of something else. Usually Wobbuffet, which we have 4 copies of. Wobbuffet shutting down abilities of non-Psychic Pokemon, and then Psychic Assault. If you do a Dark Corridor, you can usually add in the poison damage, and Psychic Assault will result in a knockout, dealing 10 plus 10 more for every damage counter already on your opponent's active. So that's a fun little combo. 4 Wobs. We have a 1-1 Dragalge line in case we Mega Evolve. Dragalge's ability prevents your opponent's poison Pokemon from retreating. So if Hollow Geist is used, you can lock them into the active with Dragalge, and they are confused and poisoned. So force them to flip through that confusion if they want to attack. Definitely a fun little idea. And then 1 Shaman. Since we run 4 Wobs, I don't want to run more than 1 Shaman. So have that for draw power. So we'll go into our items here. We have Computer Search, a spec of choice. We have 4 Max Elixirs. I chose this over Mega Turbo to avoid having to run a whole bunch of compressors. Also means we can charge up Gengar even if we're not going to Mega, and can also charge up Wobbuffet. So it's just easier to use, I feel like, getting Psychic energies onto our board. We have 3 Trainer's Mail, and then 4 Ultra Ball, 4 VS Seeker. Again, the normal, like always. Rounding out our items, we have 3 Float Stones. Since we're not running Mystery Energy, I'll get to that here in a moment. And 3 Gengar Spirit Links, since we have a 3-3 Mega Gengar line. Stadiums, we got 4 Dimension Valleys. Make our attacks cost 1 less. That applies to Gengar, Mega Gengar, and Wobbuffet. Make use of it. Keep your opponent's stadiums off the board. Yeah, that's pretty much it about Dimension Valley. And then supporters for Sycamore, 2 N, 2 Lysander, all the normal stuff. 1 Colress for mass draw power mid to late game, or against Rayquaza or Rainbow Road. And we have 1 AZ, just pretty much takes the place of Olympia. 1 Hex Maniac in the event that we don't have Wobbuffet when we need it. And 1 Karen to counter Night March. And then we close out with 7 basic Psychic. So the reason we don't run Mystery Energy and we're stuck running Float Stones instead is because of this. Max Elixir only working on basic energy. Like I said, I don't feel like doing the Mega Turbo thing and limiting my acceleration only to this guy, when we could also just allow it to everything and then just evolve after we accelerate. So that's why we're doing Max Elixir, that's why we're doing no Mystery Energy, and we're using Float Stone. So this is a terrible Mega Gengar deck, and we are going to try to play through an expanded tournament with it. So maybe we get fortunate for a round or 2. Anyway, let's go. 7, one more. There we go, we got it. Hey, Night March, look at that. Rip. Alright, so we probably just... Well, Karen is kind of important here. I don't know, maybe we can do cute things with Wobbuffet. We'll call heads. Gengar, you failed us. We might get to go first anyway. I mean, it is Night March. Oh, okay. I mean, I'm assuming it's Night March anyway. Alright, so we do start the Wob, which is good. We get the Gengar for the bench, which we might actually not want to put down just yet. The rest of this hand is pretty terrible, not gonna lie. You could even make a case for leading the Gengar to try to Ultra Ball into a Shaman I wouldn't really object to that too much. But I think we're just going to try to play the slow game here since this deck isn't really fast. Alright, come on, come on. How many more starting Pokemon do you have? Oh, geez, there is another one. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Hey, what do you know? Finally. There's a lot of thinking you did there. Oh god. Oh! A Spearow and 2 Voltor. Alright, maybe we can win this. Just need to draw out of it. Alright. That is a lot less daunting than what I thought I was going to see. Let's see, this is the same one I used in Electrode. Okay. Cool beans. I can work with that. Alright, so a Faded Town. Ah, that's actually relevant. Okay, so we draw another Ultra Ball, so dang, I don't even know if I want to play that. This thing has 1 retreat. Pretty sure this thing has the same. Yeah. So we're just gonna put this Gengar down. We're gonna give it the Spirit Link and the Psychic Energy, and we're just gonna pass here, I think. Could Ultra Ball away another Ultra Ball and a Lysander, I suppose. Don't really feel the desire to Mega Evolve when that stupid thing is there. So here's Fearow. What does this do? 30 for 1. Drill Run. Alright. That's cool. I don't really find myself having an issue with that. Okay, so another energy goes on. Oh god, it can use Big Explosion now. Alright. I feel like I'm just... This isn't even like bottom tables tournament stuff. This is like I'm sitting at League with someone who's never played before. This takes me way back. Okay, so he's gonna play a Wally. And alright, so what's this Electrode do? I don't know what this one does. You may move all energy from this Pokemon to your bench Pokemon in any way you like. Flip a coin until you get tail staggers 29% the number of heads. Okay. Alright. So I don't see any abilities, so I'm just gonna go ahead and Floatstone this, and then I think we're gonna try to go find a Shaman. And of course it's prized. Alright, so since we're just in a complete shithole here, we also prized Dragalge, so I don't really want to grab the Mega Gengar right now. That's the problem. So I think we just grab another Gengar-EX. And sure, we'll put it down. Go right ahead. God, this is just trash. So bad. Alright, so he puts a Lightning Energy on the Fearow. So he can either hit us for 30 or he can retreat into this thing. So he's just going to hit us for 30. And, alright, we just draw a Wobbuffet. Whatever. I'll just put it on the bench. I don't really care. Alright, so he puts a second energy on the Fearow, and it's going to hit us for 30 again. Okay, that's fine. And we draw Computer Search. Alright, so we're gonna pass, probably let him knock this thing out if he puts like a double colorless or energy here and retreats. And then we're gonna try to just Computer Search into shenanigans here. Go find ourselves a Sycamore. Alright, so he puts a Lucky Helmet on his Fearow. Alright. So that's a thing. Oh, that card. Okay, so he's just gonna 30 damage again. So he's gonna leave Wobbuffet in the active. We're gonna Computer Search here. We're gonna throw these 2 cards away. And we're gonna go find a Professor Sycamore. No, not a D-Valley. No, what the heck? There we go. Alright. That's what we want. Okay, so we find a bunch of things that are not Max Elixir. Alright, we're gonna knock that Stadium out. We're gonna attach another energy to Gengar. We're gonna Mega Evolve it, and I think we just pass. Yeah. So we're just gonna. I mean, I don't really want to play an N when he only has 2 cards, but I don't want to throw all my stadiums away either. So I'm not really sure how I want to look at this. I mean, I guess he could just bump my stadium there, and then we can get a use out of another one. You know, that makes me feel not quite as silly. So he is gonna knock out the Wobbuffet finally, and we're gonna bring the Mega Gengar up. All right, so we draw another Mega, which doesn't really help. We're gonna put a D-Valley here, and then we're just gonna Sycamore. Okay. Alright, and of course we don't find an energy, so we won't be attacking. We're gonna Max Elixir onto the benched Gengar. Put a Spirit Link on it. We can evolve it. And that'll be it for the turn. My god. This is like a new level of terrible. So we only have 3 energy accounted for. I mean, there's still 6 Psychic left between 6 prizes and 24 cards in the deck. So he plays a town map. Oh, I don't want to see hammers. Alright, there's a heavy ball. I don't know what he's grabbing with that. I mean, it could literally be just about anything. Anything with 3 retreat or more. Maybe a big bulky EX that I haven't seen in years. Maybe like a Regigigas EX. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. Instead, he fails the search. Alright. So we're just gonna... He's pecked us 5 times now. 4 times on the Wobbuffet. So we're just gonna put these Wobbuffets down just to get them out of our hand, and then we're gonna Colress for a few more cards. Okay, so there's our energy. We get that, so we can throw that on the board, and we're gonna use Hollow Geist for the knockout here. Oh boy. Alright, not like the status cons really mean anything. So he gets 2 cards from the Lucky Helmet. We'll take a prize, and we get another Gengar. Now, our other Mega is already in the sinkhole here. So Electrode is probably going to come up. Yep. At most, that thing hits us for 70, and then we just kill it. So we see a Nidoran. Another energy goes onto the Electrode. So we're going to take 70 damage. Here's another Heavy Ball. Still not sure what he's searching for. Didn't get anything the first time. Didn't get anything this time. Alright. I don't know if Nidoking actually has 3 retreat or not. Alright, so we're going to get energy bombed here for 70, and my guess is he moves those energy back here. Nope, he doesn't. Alright, so he's going to let them all bite the dust. Okay. We don't even need to put that into play. Yeah, we're just going to Hollow Geist here for a knockout. Like, there's literally no point to doing anything else. Like, sure, we could Hex, I guess. But that's really about it. So, yeah, let's just do that. God, why would you play this thing over Mega Venusaur? It makes no sense. It literally does the same thing with an inferior status con. Has less HP. Like, this is really the only thing it gets, but it's expanded only, so that even defeats the purpose of, you know, yeah. Alright, so we're just gonna, you know, Lysander, I guess, so he doesn't evolve. I don't know, whatever. Hollow Geist again for another knockout. Alright, I mean, I don't really know what else we can really say here. You know, we've got a sweeper set up. We do find Dragalge in the prizes, which is irrelevant because nothing's going to survive this attack. Alright, so he forfeits. So we'll go to round 2. Okay, so getting ready for round number 2. Okay, and looks like this time we're going up against frogs. Got an Evil Tall coin. That's kind of cool. Okay. So, I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong. Could be another scrub deck. We could somehow manage to eke out another win. We'll win the coin flip, that's for sure. So we'll take that. We take those. And okay, oh, we're starting with Skrelp this time. Alright. Okay, so not an ideal starter here. It's got kind of an interesting defensive attack, I guess. Or defensive move. But I don't know. Okay, and yet we do see the Mega Gengar stuff show up. Alright. So we might want Wobbuffet to help us out here. So we're going to Ultra Ball away the shiny Gengar and the Lysander here. And what do we want? We'll take a Wob. So put that down. Put the D-Valley into play, and we'll Sycamore. Alright, so let's try to get some energy on the board. Max Elixir onto Gengar-EX. Put a second one down. Put a second Gengar down. And I think we're good like that. Yeah. That sounds good. We do have an N next turn for when he more than likely Aero Blitzes here. So we're going to see a Dive Ball for probably another Froakie. Yep, there it is. Alright. And there's a Muscle Band on... Oh, that's actually going to knock us out then. Shit. Alright, and then he's Sycamore. So he tosses away a Super Rod and one of his Frogadiers. Probably would have waited there. He misses an energy entirely. Oh my goodness. So he misses his attack in the process because of that. So we get the third energy on Gengar. And... Man, I don't know if I want to play an N now. I think I kind of just want a VS Seeker for that Sycamore, but... God, that's two Mega Gengars in the sinkhole then. That's, I don't know. No, I think we just play the M. See if we can't find a, Floatstone here, which we're not. Alright, what does the retreat cost on this thing? It's still only one? Okay. Yeah, we can evolve. That's cool. And we'll go ahead and pass the turn. Can always AZ up the Drag Alge here, although I think retreating it might actually be the better option. Alright, so he goes ahead and retreats right now. Yep, and he's got Frogadier with a Mystery Energy. And so we're going to be able to knock that out. He's just going to get his Frogadier back. And he only gets one from the deck, so he prized one or has it in hand. I'm guessing prized because this remains unevolved. And then he discarded one. So we are going to, in this case, let's see. I think in this case we actually do AZ this thing up since we're going to knock him out. We bring out the Mega Gengar. Put another Wob down. We can put the Skrelp back down. And we're going to attach an energy over here. And let's see. In this instance, I think we Dark Corridor into the other Gengar. And he is going to... Actually, no, he's not going to get that Frogadier back because it died from poison. So, poison does its duty. And Frogadier hits the discard pile. So, if we can Lysander this other one out before it becomes Greninja, which that's not going to happen. Nope, there's the Greninja. He says, yo, I'm here. So now we're going to all of a sudden want to try to go for a Mega Gengar play, which would involve a Floatstone in this case. Okay, we hit the Floatstone, but we don't have either of the other two cards needed. So we take 60 from Aero Blitz, and hopefully we hit a Versus Seeker off one of these T-Mails. We can get an N. Okay, we do find a Max Elixir here. So, let's see. Let's try to play these here, see what we hit. Okay, we just hit an N directly. That works too. So maybe we can find a Spirit Link. There we go. That's good. Alright. So we're able to find a link for this Gengar. We can float the other one. And then we will go ahead and retreat right back into the first one and Max Elixir here. We do find another energy. So we can put that down. And then we're going to go ahead and play an N here and get rid of those couple searches he had. And we do manage to find the Mega Gengar here, so we can knock out Talonflame. Alright, so that becomes a thing, and Hollow Geist is going to knock out the Talonflame here. And it's going to do it after Poison, but that's fine with me. Still gets us a knockout, so we find another Psychic Energy. Now, whether or not we want to put a third energy on this Gengar is really, you know, that's kind of something we probably want to consider, because if we Mega Evolve this one, it's going to have to be without a Spirit Link. Does lay down a Rough Seas here. We see another Froakie. Here's a Bursting Balloon. There's a Water Energy, and he forfeits! We were just going to go ahead and OHKO him there, and he doesn't have any more resources, so we overcome Greninja. Holy crap. Woo! Alright, and we're immediately going into the next round. No wait, no nothing. And I don't know if we belong in the finals of any tournament with this thing. Even some, you know, even one of these dinky little things. Alright, and it looks like we're hit Volcanion to finish things off here. So, of course, save the toughest for last. You know, that's the way it should be. And Greninja just, you know, really, I feel like, if anything, I think that last one, I think that Greninja deck beat itself. So, alright, we lost the coin flip. So, we're going second. Oh, we're going... Oh, he's going to have us go first. Okay. Oh, we don't have a basic. I mean, starting a Wob wouldn't be bad. We would at least be able to prevent a first turn knockout and try to charge up a Gengar in the process. So, we're going to shuffle all this back. And, okay, so once again, we're starting with Skrelp. Definitely not my first choice of an active Pokemon to start. In fact, probably my second to last behind Shaman. If we're being realistic. So he gets an extra card. He's got 3 Pokemon already on the board. And we see 2 Victini EXs and a Flareon. Alright, so we're going to just throw an energy on Skrelp and we're going to Sycamore. Okay. And we find nothing. Wow. Alright, we do get an Ultra Ball here, though. So we can Ultra Ball away the Karen and, unfortunately, one of these energies. That sucks to have to do that. Alright, so we're going to grab a Gengar, and do we? No, we don't. Okay. 5 energies still in the deck. Not great odds. Definitely stacked against us here on this Max Elixir play. But we actually hit 2 of them. Wow. Alright, and then we're going to go ahead and throw the Link on there as well. So, we could get ourselves to Dark Corridor next turn with a Dimension Valley. And he apparently chose to go second, so he could Turbo Energize here. Still not counting out the possibility of Volcanion, because statistically there has to be a bunch of Volcanion EXs in there, I would think. Instead, we just see a couple of Flareons, so I'm still, you know, I'm still a little puzzled. I don't know, maybe it's just an Octillery. He's got Water something and Colorless something in there. We do see he discards a 3rd Victini EX along with a Fire Energy here to play this Ultra Ball. Grabs a Shaman. So I would expect to see 2 Flareons come down and then Shaman to finish the bench and get at least 5 cards. And there it is. So Shaman's going to set up for 5 here. This is one of those why didn't we start Wobbuffet moments once again. And so we're going to be able to, let's see, he's going to T-Mail. Oh, he got the Lysander? That sucks. And if we hit the D-Valley, it won't really matter. He's going to Turbo Energize onto, presumably, a Flareon. Yeah, alright. So 2 energies. Yep. Alright, now do they have to go onto the same Pokemon? No, they can go however he likes. Okay. So energy goes on to Gengar, and we're going to end, which kind of... Oh, no, wait, he did play Supporter. Never mind, that doesn't suck so bad. We do find a Float Stone. We find another Gengar. Okay, so we're going to put that down. We're going to put the Dimension Valley down. We're going to Float Stone here, and we're going to retreat into Gengar, and we're going to Dark Corridor here for 60 damage plus poison. And we're just gonna bring the other Gengar, I think, because I don't think he can do enough damage to one-shot us right now. I mean, he could suck an energy here with the ability, play a switching card, attach it, be at what, 130. A Muscle Band would put it at 150. Alright, so instead he grabs Lysander off of Trainer's Mail. My guess is he turbo energizes one more time here, and that's going to give us the opportunity to Lysander up this guy. Instead he is going to retreat, so 110 damage on the table right now. There's a Lysander. He's going to bring the other Gengar up. So we've got 3 energies accounted for. 2 in the discard is 5. Alright. So, let's see. These things have 2 retreat, so we can work with that. We're going to... Well, he also just jumped to the bench, so we can do it that way, too. We're going to attach over here, and then we're just going to discard these. Alright, we do find the Wob this time, so we get that working to our advantage. Let's see if we can find another link. Nope. Okay, we already have that. I think we just pass on those, honestly. And then we're going to go ahead and Dark Corridor here. Just deal with 60, and we're going to switch into Wobbuffet. Which he can knock out, and that's fine. I don't really care if he does a little bit of damage. Or takes a prize card, I should say. So instead he just plays another Lysander and brings up Gengar again, of course, you know. Couldn't just, you know, have to take the single prize. He's got to have, you know, he's got to have the Lysander. And so we're going to be able to end him down to 4 now. That's going to be good. That's a good way to be able to go about this here. He takes 10 more from the poison. We're going to get another Dark Corridor going here. And, alright, we find a Colress, which I don't really want right now. So we're going to pass on it. Float on the Wob. And we're going to play an N here. Alright, so we do find the Spirit Link. We also find the Dragalge. So we could try to block a retreat attempt here. Alright. Although, unfortunately, Wobbuffet is going to block our ability to block his retreat attempt. So we're in a Dark Corridor nonetheless. And I mean, I suppose we just do this, yeah. Could try to do it the other way. But we could also just Night Attack to kill that thing, so I don't know. Like, this is bad already. I don't really know how much worse it needs to get. And we're gonna lose to someone who's playing Tierno. Okay. Wonderful to know that. If we could find a Mega, this would be wonderful. Of course, he's just got, you know, another Flareon ready to go back there. So he's at 160, so he's going to get knocked out even if we don't attack him. So we got 1, 2, 3 energies on the board, 4 in the discard. That's 7 energies accounted for. We're not going to be using that attack. We're going to end up ending again here. Let's see if we can't find a Mega Evolution. Well, it looks like we do. We find it in an awkward manner, but we still find it. So we're going to discard the Valley and the Shaman. Go grab a Mega Gengar out of the deck. That gives us something a little bulkier to attack with. And once again, we'll just, you know, retreat. Pass turn, poison, knockout. Cool, cool. Grab a couple prize cards. And he can just attach an energy and kill us. Hopefully we can try to turn things from here, though. And if we could... Oh, no, not the Lysander. No, that's bad. We don't want that. That makes us lose. Alright, so we do find this here. Why did he have to hit the Lysander? Alright, there's an energy. Could put that down. I mean, maybe we could Hologeist here and then end him down to 1 and then try to attack with this thing. I don't know. Just an idea. So we don't have enough energy to set up another Gengar. So it's probably the option. Like, we could Lysander and hope that, I don't know, maybe he just doesn't hit anything. But we could also just use that as a Lysander target down the stretch. So yeah, I think we're going to attack here. We're going to Hologeist this thing. We're going to confuse it in the process. And it can't retreat. Not that he really wants to retreat it. I don't know, maybe he'll flip Tails on Confusion and then die to Poison. That'd be pretty funny. Alright, so now we're just waiting here, and because he would take 3 damage counters if he hit himself in Confusion, which would put him at 160. The Poison would knock him out. And that would be a hell of a coin flip here for us. As we would then be able to simply VS Seeker Lysander this thing and end the game. Realistically, we could drag any of these that aren't Flareon up and accomplish that feat. So instead he passes. He doesn't attack. And so we're going to get a golden opportunity here. We're going to throw the Floatstone on here. We're going to use this. Okay, that's not going to work, but that's fine. That's not the point. And we are going to Hologeist again and knock this thing out. And he's still at 3 prize cards. So we're going to take 2. And hopefully we'll just be on the inside track to winning here on our turn. Wow. So he chooses not to attack in a bizarre turn of events. And I think we've got this game won. I mean, the only way we don't win next turn is if he ends us out of our hand, and then obviously this thing would have to be active. Otherwise, I mean, unless he has another Pokemon he benches to it from his hand that can withstand an attack or only yields 1 prize, otherwise we win. I really don't see how we wouldn't. He doesn't have energy anywhere on his bench. He didn't even use the bench Flareon's ability to suck up an energy, given that he didn't attack. So Flareon is down, and so of course the other one will come up into the active spot. But wow. And so we win the game. Oh my goodness. Wow, I was expecting a dramatic coin flip. Instead, he just passes and essentially forfeits the game by doing so. And Shiny Mega Gengar goes the distance. Granted, we played against not very much in terms of meta, but, you know, outside of maybe Greninja, but nonetheless, the fact that a deck like this was able to contend with one somewhat meta deck, and then also the Flareon deck that got such a hot start on us, that we were able to overcome that, clinging to our last couple resources. Woohoo! Wow! Alright, so Shiny Mega Gengar actually accomplishes first place in a tournament, so let's get our rewards here. We got 1 Fates Collide, we got 2 Breakthrough, we got 3 Evolutions, of course, because that's the current set, and we got another trophy, so we got, I don't know, we got a few gold cups, but we come away with the win, so that's pretty awesome, and that is today's Impossible Tournament Challenge, and so let me know if you guys like this more than just doing regular deck challenges in versus mode. You know, if you want to see me try to grind a tournament with something random like this, definitely do this in the future if you guys like it, and I will see you next time. Cheers.